Welcome to the Clear Skin Podcast. We started this podcast because nobody else in the industry is talking about anti-aging and acne together. And quite frankly, it is making us frustrated crazy. So did you know that 85% of people in the United States have experienced at least minor acne? That's pretty crazy to me. Acne is a super common skin condition and it affects people of all ages. And so the reason that it's so frustrating to deal with, especially when you're also trying to address signs of aging, such as fine lines and wrinkles, is because there really isn't a solution for both. So without further ado, let me introduce Clear Skin Solutions medical spa founder, Nyki, and her daughter, Amelia. And these guys are here to provide us science-backed, personalized skincare solutions for acne-prone skin that also addresses the signs of aging. Right now, they have a 98% skin clearing success rate. And I'll tell you right now, the other 2% didn't follow the program. And the best part is that to get this information, you don't have to live locally to have clear skin. You can either visit in clinic at their med spa in Ardmore, Oklahoma, or you can visit online through their acne virtual skin program, because we know that many of you won't have an acne anti-aging specialist in your area. We know it is so hard to find, and this is problem solved. So let me introduce Nyki and Amelia. Nyki, can you tell me why it's so hard to find products that work for both anti-aging and acne?
I'm going to tell you the truth. So this is from experience with myself and experience with clients that we would have acne and get it under control with usually like a teenage skincare line.
Right.
Honestly, that's what we first carried. And it was just super stripping and irritating to my skin. And I started noticing that premature aging was showing up for me. I was starting to really look, I'm not even going to say my age, I'm going to say much older, because that's what premature aging is you start getting that inflammation and irritation. And I didn't have the ability to take care of my own anti-aging for myself or for my clients. I just kept stripping them. And there just wasn't anything on the market quite yet that attached both things,
Right.
and that was customized, that I could customize specifically for my skin issues.
So you were having issues you were trying to cure your acne, right? But also work on anti-aging at the same time. And I guess what you were experiencing was a lot of pore cloggers in those anti-aging ingredients, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the thing, is that they just were irritating and aggravating my skin even more. So I was either working on acne or working on my anti-aging. I couldn't do both at the same time.
Yeah, right. And I know that you have a lot of clients who come in and they're having the same issues. And I think, like you said, your story, you had acne, you were struggling, and I think you had experience with your son struggling with acne, and lots of clients that come in. So can you share a little bit about some of the struggles that they were having?
Well, it's probably the story is exactly the same. They would go on a skincare line that's created for teen acne, not for that aging skin.
Right.
And so they would come in and we would put them under the lights, and the blue light that we use here allows us to see what's underneath, and pigmentation, closed comedones, texture, and inflammation. And that irritation is the big one that allowed us to start saying they might have gotten some control of their acne, but their inflammation was so high and their irritation was so high that it wasn't really resolving anything. Their barriers were impaired.
So essentially, when you've got that impaired barrier, and I think, our listeners have heard a lot about barrier repair and a stripped barrier. If you go in and just start with, like those active products, active ingredients, when you've got a stripped barrier, what would somebody experience? I mean, that's probably, a lot of our consumers out there that are looking for acne safe products, they're stripping their skin so much that their barrier can't handle it, right? And then when you go and try and fix that,
We talk about it all the time. I'm like, we are so well educated as acne clients, as acne sufferers, to strip more. If I have a breakout, I need to strip it more. I need to get those oils off. So it just aggravates it and makes it so much worse than it needs to be.
And then it can't be, there's nothing, you can't really go forward unless you repair that barrier, right?
Right, correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So, Amelia, just curiosity. Now, you guys had said that you use another product line. So, what about all these professional products that many of us spa professionals use? Like, why? What is it about them that don't seem to work? Because again, they're professional products. I think it comes back to that, ingredients that are in there. Correct?
Absolutely. And there's only so much you can do when you either have an acne geared product or an anti-aging geared product. And if you don't have something that's going to be contributing to both of those things, then you're going to run into issues and you're only going to be able to treat, a certain amount of people.
Right.
Also, a lot of pore clogging and irritating ingredients are hidden in the products that we're using. And so even some products that say that they're non-comedogenic, you're going to bring them home. And if you actually look at the ingredient deck, it might have 2 or 3 products in there that are actually irritating and further clogging your pores.
So when a product says non-comedogenic on there, because we see them everywhere, how is it comedogenic if they're claiming that it's not?
It's just, false advertising. You can essentially put anything on a bottle. And unless you know what to look for, which we've got a whole binder of ingredients that we look for and kind of cross over and see exactly what's in the products that you're using. And unless you have those things and the tools that you need to search, then you're just not going to know.
It's fair. Yep. And most consumers, they really don't know. They hear a lot of trends and hype on social media, or maybe something that their friends using. So, I also noticed, like you just said, that what's going to work on one person may not work for the other, because not every single product is suitable for everybody. And especially when we're dealing with acne and different types of acne, it can definitely differ from person to person. I know, Nyki, you talk about treating acne, it not being a one size fits all approach. So do you have any insight on, how do you guys kind of manage different types of skins and to be able to get, you guys get people clear, like incredibly clear. So
And being, I love that we get you to watch this, because you've been an esthetician for a long time, and to be able to watch these before and afters is just amazing. But one thing that that makes that possible is customization, right? The ingredients that are important for one client's skin is not going to be the same. I see virtual programs that you can do on your own without anybody looking at your skin.
Right.
And just answer some questions, and then it tells you what products you need. Well, unfortunately, that would really be great if we could do that for people, if we could resolve their skin by automation. But the problem is that that's not taking into account how quickly things have changed, where you're at next. Right. So our program every 2 weeks allows us to look at the skin and see where we're at and customize to that point right now.
Yeah.
So sometimes we take it back. Sometimes less is more. Sometimes aggressive is the key. But it really depends on that client's skin at that moment. And it's super important that, we're not formulators. We're not creating this in our kitchen sink.
Right.
We work with labs and formulators that know what they're doing, right?
Yeah. And I also know that just because you guys aren't formulators, you're definitely keeping an eye on some of those ingredients that your lab is putting into your product. So you guys constantly check your ingredient deck every time you create a new batch of products, right? Because tell me why.
On that, there are labs that we work with, we don't have to double check, but there are labs that think that they understand acne, and they understand it from the perspective of not understanding the dysfunction of the pore. So that's the key right there. If you don't understand the dysfunction of the pore, then you're trying to slap on a symptom instead of getting to the root of the issue.
And that's, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I just think it's super important because everything that we sell from here, once it comes in, we double check those ingredients. And labs, they're having a hard time getting a hold of certain ingredients, and they can find one for less. And they want to use those ingredients, and they don't comprehend that those ingredients are damaging to the skin. I don't see it as, these big companies are out to get us. I just don't think that they're educated about the poor.
Well, and that's really been your biggest focus when it comes to helping clear up acne is, acne is a dysfunction of the pore, right? It's not something that is necessarily curable, but we can manage and maintain it with the right approach, with the right products. And I love that, whether it's in clinic or whether it's virtual treatment, that you guys are staying super close to the clients and you're, keeping tabs on them and you're checking in. They're checking in with you every 2 weeks and they have the ability to reach out whenever they have questions. So I think that, like you said, a lot of times people just buy the product and they think that, because it says non-pore clogging or non-comedogenic, but really, like, you guys are hand holding, you're coming into people's homes without ever, touching their skin virtually, and you're treating people in clinic with the right approach because you're focusing on that dysfunction of the pore. Now, I want to, it brings me to kind of something else that I want to bring up. You have a medical director, Dr. Galoob, and he talks about how the medical profession tackles acne. And in his words, he says, not very good. So I love him, but he's very candid. So Amelia, tell us a little bit about what Dr. Galoob thinks about the medical profession and acne.
Well, when we had first started with Dr. Galoob and we were discussing with him more of a functional approach to acne, which was digging deeper into lifestyle choices as far as diet and the things that you're exposed to. And he was just like, meh, you guys are silly. You don't know what you're talking about. Like, we throw antibiotics at these things. And then when he started to actually see how we were changing people's skin, and he started sending people that, he had been treating for cystic acne for years and they had tried everything from lasers and medications and severe chemical peels. And we're sending them over here at that point, and their skin was clearing. And we were doing things that he had been trying to do for years and wasn't able to because of the approach. And so having that shift for him, I think, has been such a beautiful thing that we get to see, that we can change the way that we view things, and we can change the way that we see acne and how we're treating it, and aging too.
Yeah, well, and that's great that Dr. Galoob, he's been a plastic surgeon, medical profession for what, 40 years or something like that. And I remember talking to him and he was just, floored that what you guys have going on at Clear Skin Solutions is something special. And I think it's important that, doctors and big pharmas, they're simply chasing the effect, not the cause, right? They're trying to put a bit of a band-aid over it because that's all that they know, whether that's, right or wrong. It's just what they know, right?
Treating the symptoms and not getting to the root of the issues.
Yeah.
And think about like functional medicine. Functional medicine gets to the root of the problem because you're always going to be chasing, right? Like, you're always like, I can't even say how many people have come in on a medication and then 4 other medications to take care of the results because of this medication.
Right.
And, going after and helping people heal their guts because they've been on antibiotics for so long. And, not always is a magic pill really that magical. It's just creating more problems. So I think this natural, holistic, functioning approach is it's amazing because it not only heals your skin, it makes you feel better.
Absolutely. So we're talking about, can you share a little bit about what that means, like lifestyle factors, what you're doing to really get that functional relief?
Well, you think about working with a fitness trainer, right? And you leave there and you don't take care of your diet, you don't take care of your sleep, you don't take care of your stress levels. Like, what is a therapist going to do? to improve your body if you're doing all this crazy stuff at home. And so our approach is a lot similar in the sense that how you are treating your sleep, how you are treating your stress levels. We go over diet, we go over things in your lifestyle that are problem. Because we even have clients that have been clear for a long period of time, come back in, broken out because they have forgotten some lifestyle changes that they did earlier on.
Right.
Clients that have cleared up eczema, but they started adding foods back in and seeing like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Like,
Yeah.
so all of us, including myself and my daughter, need those reminders, and that's what we're here for. Like, we have people that have been clear that haven't ever visited us here, and many years later reach out and go, you know, it's not working right now. And then we go back over one thing that's important, regular check-ins to see about your routine. Just because your routine worked then doesn't mean it's going to work today. We might have to change some things.
Yep.
And some simple reminders about diet and lifestyle.
Well, and I think just one of our virtual clients actually, she's been on a great path to clearing her skin right before her wedding. And then we just found out that she was using pore cloggers in her hair care, right?
Yeah.
So
we do a customized chemical peel with our virtual clients, and I'm going through it and I'm looking at her and I'm like, yeah, no.
But that's okay. Get them right back on track, and it's just all
gentle and kind, and yes, it doesn't have to be too hard.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me a little bit about what kind of client shows up at your clinic, whether it be in clinic or your virtual skin program.
The people who typically come to us have tried everything. They've exhausted all of their resources, and they've gotten to the point where they're like, I'll try anything and I need an answer. You know, they've gone to dermatologists, they've tried medications, they tried one-off treatments where they just go into a spa and get a facial and hope for the best, or random laser treatments, and nothing is working. And, typically they've heard from someone that we treated and cleared their skin, and that we held their hand the entire time. And so they come to us.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's, super important, is that hand holding, because most people who are struggling with acne, they really just want that solution, and they're willing to do what it takes, right, to get that relief. And it can have a huge impact on a person's self-confidence and self-esteem, right? So, the physical appearance of acne can be super distressing. It can be difficult to hide or cover up, especially when it's severe. So I bet you get a lot of clients coming in kind of feeling like that last resort, defeated, embarrassed, ashamed of their skin. And you guys are just, such amazing, lovely people, that you take people under your wing, and not only are you transforming their skin, but you're changing their lives. And I think that's super special that you guys have going on.
It's such an amazing thing to watch somebody walk in done, right? Like, and their head's down and their body speaks a different language.
Mm-hmm.
And within a short amount of time, you can start seeing the confidence coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like a full transformation.
Yeah. I mean, at the age of information, people find out about products and hear things from their friends and do whatever. And so they've probably literally tried every product. They probably have 60 products in their drawer and on their countertop by the time they come in here. And they're like, just throw it all away, babe.
Which I would like to talk about that real quick. Throw it all away, babe. We used to go, we don't want them to waste any money, have them keep their product, we'll slowly swap it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And most of these products have created the problem to begin with, and we're wasting time and money by you not starting from scratch. And that's where the kit started. That's where we started with that, because it allows us to really get in there and go, okay, we're going to change everything now.
Mm-hmm. And that's
why I waste time and money.
That's your starter kit that you're talking about, or the hydration basics kit?
Yes, instead of starting you on a virtual program and having you buy products as you go along, we start you in the program with products.
Right.
Yeah,
And those are all
guarantees are
included.
what we're known for.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, ladies. Like that was really great information kicking off our very first podcast. And I know that woo, and I know that people struggling with acne and aging, because again, like your products work with both, right? So not only are you treating the acne piece, but you're also helping to reverse aging. And we've seen some pretty incredible age reversal transformations, haven't we? So yeah, it's pretty incredible. So it's just going to help people feel like there's hope. So you can either visit in clinic at their med spa in Ardmore, Oklahoma, if you're looking for acne safe anti-aging solutions, or their acne virtual skin program is an amazing skin academy that you can join. It's going to give you all of the acne facts. You're working with a virtual skin therapist. They're going to walk you through every step of the way. So if you'd like to become part of the Clear Skin Solutions family and get access to hassle-free online shopping, because they've got all their acne safe products online, you can book your consultation with them today at clearskinsolutions.com. We've got a full team of acne specialists, and they are happy to walk you through which treatments and at-home skincare products that are best for you and that will give you the best skin of your life. So thank you again, ladies, so much. You're always such a big resource of information, and I look forward to our next podcast.